So, welcome everybody back to our lovely regular Tuesdays, which I'm totally appreciating you all joining me for actually. It's nice to have the company even though you're sort of here but not here. This week, as you might have read in the email, we are making our practice about our body being our home. So I think, as I said, like it's very easy to be in your home like we all are at the moment, but not actually connect with ourselves as this being our home. So wherever we go, we're kind of like little tortoises or little snails taking our homes with us. But I think sometimes you forget that. This is something I use a lot in my practice, just reminding myself that my body is my home, and this is me, and this is where it's all going on, and just to give it a little bit of love and kindness and bring myself back to a state of presence. So I'm hoping you might find a little bit of that in your practice too this evening. So I'm going to ask you to start on your backs today. So if you bring yourselves down onto your backs, I'm going to stay seated for now, and just talk you into a bit of a sort of guided meditation to start with. So if you make yourselves comfortable on your backs, wherever you are, if you've got a blanket, maybe pop a blanket under your head just for extra comfort. If you've downloaded the Spotify playlist, I recommend playing that or starting to play that now. It will come in quite nice and gently. And when you've settled yourselves down in on your backs, I'll just give you a second and we'll get started. So you can either have your legs out long on the mat, or you can have soles of the feet on the earth with the knees bent, completely up to you. What is more comfortable on your back? If you've got any lower back pains, I'm going to recommend keeping the knees bent and soles of the feet flat on the ground. And then bringing ourselves into this space. So allowing ourselves to just recognize the space we're in, bringing ourselves onto our mat, bringing our minds onto our mat as well as our bodies. And then taking some time to welcome our bodies to the practice this evening. Bringing your awareness to the space outside of the body. So the area around you, the space you are in, the space you have decided to undertake your practice this evening. And then bringing our awareness to the space inside of the body. So almost feeling that awareness resonating through the skin, sinking in, becoming aware of the functions in the body, your body in this space. We're going to begin to focus on the connection between your body here and the earth. So the support that the earth is giving to your body in this space. The connection between the back body and the earth, the soles of the feet and the earth, the back of the head, and then we're going to bring that recognition into the connection between the back body and the rest of the body. So considering the body as a whole, thinking about all of the tendons, the ligaments, muscles, bones, all of the connective tissues, everything that holds the body and holds the body whole. Connecting ourselves to ourselves. We are a whole body. And then beginning to welcome the breath into the body. Welcoming every inhale. And releasing every exhale with kindness and gratitude. Showing gratitude for this breath that will support us through our practice today. With this awareness of our bodies in this time, in this space, we begin to allow our bodies to rest. While we're here allowing our bodies this rest, I invite you to repeat in your mind, if this rings true for you, repeating the phrase or the mantra, I am home. And as you repeat this, perhaps a few times, I'll leave it with you and your breath for a few breath rotations. Just taking the time to think for you what this might mean, how this resonates and rings true for you today. I am home. Beginning to bring the awareness back to the space around the body, the space in the room, the space beside of you, above you, below you. And with great ease, beginning to bring the legs wherever they are, and we're going to hug the knees into the chest here. So nurturing the body, squeezing those knees in, wrapping the arms around the knees. You might wish to rock side to side. A little bit of a massage on the lower spine here. Releasing through the shoulders and the jaw still. Still inviting, welcoming those breaths, steady breaths into the body. And then keeping a hug of the left leg, so wrapping the hands and interlacing the fingers around the back of the left thigh. And we're going to take the right leg and we're coming into a figure four stretch. So bringing that right leg and the outside of the right ankle is sitting just above that left knee. If this is a little bit too much for you too soon, you can drop that left leg and just come into a looser version of this stretch and maybe see if you can create the legs towards you. If you're here in this figure four stretch, flexing the toes on the right foot, and if you've got a little bit more space still, you can use that right elbow to push out through that right knee, open through the hips a little further. The whole time, soften the jaw and the forehead still. Softness across the shoulders, so the lower body is working here. The upper body can still enjoy some release. And keeping a hold of that left leg still. The right leg is coming out straight, so sort of up at an angle straight up ahead of us, pushing through the heel, straightening through the back of the leg. If your leg is bent here, don't worry. And then we're carving a space through the air in front of us, lowering that foot down. There's a little bit of core engagement here, and just as that heel grazes the floor, bringing it all the way back up again into the air. Straight out long, working it away from the body and then bring it back home again, hugging both those knees into the chest. Maybe taking another rock side to side. Opposite side now, so taking a hold of the right leg, so both fingers interlacing behind the right thigh, and then taking the left ankle, so outside of the ankle comes to just above that right knee, flexing the toes on the left foot. And then again, if you want that extra stretch, you can push out through the left elbow, opening through the hips a little further. As before, if you want to drop the legs and make this a slightly softer stretch, feel free. Breathing into the space in the hips, softness and opening across the chest. Keeping hold of that right leg. Left leg is coming out long, pushing the heel away from you and then carving the space in front of you as you gently guide that ankle or leg, which is the whole leg, not just the ankle, down to the ground, grazing the floor with the heel and then reaching all the way back up again. Very steady, controlled movement here before bringing that leg in. Oh, I'm really clicky today. Plugging the legs in. One more squeeze in. Coming back to our home, our safe space. You've got the option now, we're coming up to seated. So you can either roll to your side and bring yourself up to reseat. Or I'm going to cross my ankles and use a little bit of momentum here. So hands are coming behind the thighs. And we're using the legs for the momentum, rolling up and down the spine, which feels quite nice a few times. And then bringing myself up to a comfortable seat. When you've made it up to your seat, sitting tall, soft in the knees, so grounding through the sit bones, allowing the knees to drop out to the side. Welcoming those inhales, growing long through the spine on each inhale, and becoming soft, releasing through the hips on the exhales. We're going to begin to work into the shoulders here. So we're taking shoulder rolls backwards. So we're bringing the shoulders up to the ears and then opening through the chest, rolling those shoulders back. Just working into the shoulders to begin with. Taking some nice rolls round and round. Squeezing and opening. This isn't a forced movement. This is quite a soft, encouraging opening. And then we're going to begin to bring this movement into the elbows. So seeing if we can get the elbows involved in these circles. You might want to put the hands on the shoulders, or you might want to keep them loose. Enjoy a bit more freedom. Bringing in some space in the armpits. The whole time you're keeping the length in the waist and along the spine here. So sitting up lovely and tall, shining through the chest. And then bringing this movement into the whole arm. So bringing the whole arm into this action, bringing the fingertips. You've got some freedom here. If you want to, rather than just keep in these circles, especially if you've got music on, I highly encourage just moving around a little bit more freely. Maybe working into the arms, still making those rotations with the shoulders, but perhaps not so sort of structured. Working into the fingertips. I can't see you, so enjoy this. And enjoy watching me do this, because I imagine I look great. And then beginning to come back to those circles. This time we're going to bring them forward, so keeping the large circles, fingertips involved. Whole arm, lovely big circles. Bringing the circles into the elbows, so fingertips on the shoulders, working through the elbows and upper arms. And then finally releasing the arms. They're probably getting a bit tired now. Just working into the shoulders, rolling those shoulders forwards. Perfect. Making those circles tinier and tinier until we come to stillness. Taking a moment in neutral, in center, recognizing any sensations in the body, following those movements. And then however you are sat, I'm going to ask you to cross your legs so the right leg is crossed in front of the left. And we're going to cradle the right leg, so taking the outside of the right knee in the right hand, taking the outside of the right foot in the left hand, and then you're going to work into that hip, so rocking side to side. But if this doesn't work for you, or you've had something different, you can really work into that leg however you want. You can come into figure eights. You can go up and down. Whatever we're doing it with ease. Just welcoming the movement in rather than forcing it. And then taking that outside of the right foot in the right hand, We're going to bring the left hand to the hips, sitting up nice and tall through the spine, and just begin to open through that right leg. So you might find your right leg comes to here. This is it for you. You might find you want to rest your heel on the ground. There are so many positions you'll end up in here. I'm going to push out through my heel to begin to straighten that leg. So I'm holding my upper body up tall, core, lengthen the waist, and then pushing out through the heel. If you're super flexible, you might find you have a straight leg here that goes up much higher than mine. Wherever we are, we're just pushing out through that heel, strong in the arm, grounding through the sit bones, really recognizing that connection with the earth and the bottom now. And then hugging that leg back in again. You've got two options now. You can either step that foot in front, or if you've got the space, bringing that right leg and taking it over the top of the left leg, placing it down the outside of the left thigh. So we're sort of twisted here. This is almost a bound cow pose. If you find you're here and you're only on one of your sit bones, ease yourself so that you're on both. If you can't sit on both, bring the leg back again. You want to have a reasonably even weight on both sit bones here. When we've made ourselves comfortable, sitting up nice and tall, hugging the right arm with the left leg, or right leg, left arm, sorry, wrong side. I'm used to doing this the other way around to reflect for you. And then creeping the right fingertips behind, sitting up lovely and tall, and then twisting from the waist towards that right side of the room. And gently easing ourselves back to center, bringing that right leg out, unhooking ourselves, and then crossing over left leg in front this time. Cradling that left leg again, so left knee and left hand, outside of left foot in right hand, working into that left hip. Figure eights or circles or wherever you want to be. And then this time again, outside of left foot in left hand, right hand to right hip, and then opening out. If you find the hip is too much here, you can bring your hand to the earth to give you some support. And then opening up however we can, hopefully finding some space in the back of that left leg. Rounding through both sit bones, lengthen the waist and the spine. Breathing into the hold. And then easing that leg back in. And then we're going to hopefully go for the same position as we were on the other side. So either placing that foot in front or wrapping that left leg over that right thigh, coming into this little twist or bound seat. Both sit bones on the earth. And this time right arm is hugging left leg, creeping the left fingers behind, sitting up nice and tall. And then twisting from the waist. Waist first before shoulders. So rather than sort of yanking yourselves around with the shoulders, make sure you work from the waist and then give any more space you can with the shoulders. Never forcing, just encouragement. Unraveling, coming back to center, bringing ourselves back to our little home for a moment. So soles of the feet on the earth and then squeezing those knees in, allowing the forehead to rest on the knees. Breathing here, coming back home, awareness back to the body, breath in the back body. If you're in the middle of your mat here, I'm just going to ask you to scooch back a little bit on the mat. So where's the back of my mat? Here we go. Scooch back a little bit on your mat so that you can still come back into your hugging of the knees. It's quite nice here, quite a nice little safe posture. But we're at the bottom of our mat, so we've got a lot of space in front of us. Gently opening, unraveling the arms, and then we're going to push ourselves up. So we're coming into a little squat here, pedaling out through the feet. Knees can either come inside of the arms, or if you've got some space in the hips you want to open out today, you can open those knees out. You can see me better from the side. You can open the knees out and pedal through them. Feet here or here. Just getting some space for a moment. If the knees are outside of the elbows, bringing them back in again. And then allowing the knees to drop to the earth. Untucking the toes, bottom to heel, making our way to child's pose. So creeping the arms out in front, lovely and long, spreading through the fingers, chest down to the thighs. Just a moment here today. Bringing ourselves back to this home space repeatedly throughout the practice. Reminding ourselves we are home. And grounding through the palms. Bottom is coming off of the heels now. And you've got the option here, you can either, so we're coming through all fours, you can either drop down into up dog, so hips are coming forwards, grounding through the palms, chest is shining through the upper arms. If there's a bit much of a back bend for you today, instead you can come from all fours, drop down onto the elbows, then drop the hips down. And come here instead. So cobra or up dog, wherever you are in your back bend today. Whichever one we are in, coming back to all fours, and then tucking the toes just temporarily for a tiny plank, I promise, teeny tiny plank. Just to give us some space to step that right foot forward between the hands. So it might sit just behind the hands here. Hopefully you've got a little bit more space in front of you than I have. I'm probably about to headbutt a wall in a second. But fingertips are staying on the earth and just creep that back leg in a little. And we're really softening in this front knee, so bending into the front knee. And we're going to work with transferring the weight into that front leg, so keeping that knee really soft. And then just lifting up, playing with lifting up and down. We might find that this is where we are today. It's quite strong on that right thigh. Or we might find we can hold. If we can hold here, making sure those hips are square, so hips are facing the earth. Keeping that softness in the right leg. You can either have the toe pointed or flexed. I don't mind where you are. And then if you're here, if you really want one more, you can put the hands on the hips, but I don't know. Oh, it's just about working for me today. I'm going to keep them down here though. Wherever we are. We're coming to standing, so keeping the length in the spine, keeping that bend in the right leg. I feel like I'm worn out here just holding this posture, grounding through the right foot, and then we're easing our way all the way up to standing, seeing if we can do it with the balance of that right leg. Left toes are grazing the earth, but rather than stepping them down, we're just hugging that left knee in. I say just, this is the point that when I practice this, I've just fallen all over the place. So seeing what your balance is like today, hugging that left knee in, and then releasing to the earth. Grounding through both feet, opening through the chest, rolling open through the shoulders, soft in the knees, length in the spine. Bringing ourselves back home, home in our bodies. Back to the breath. Taking a lovely releasing exhale. On your inhale, arms are raising up either side of the head, stretching through the fingertips, and then soft in the knees, we're releasing all the way down. Arms just skimming the sides of the body, fingertips skimming the earth, and all the way back behind us, almost like we're skiing, bending in the knees, lengthen the spine, and as we inhale, coming all the way back up again. Grounding through the soles of the feet, bending in the knees, arms up high, and again. Exhaling, releasing all the way down. This time when we make it down to the earth, releasing into a forward fold, soft in the spine, and then just working out anywhere you need to here. So maybe pedaling out through the soles of the feet. You might want to have a little bend, a little stretch, shaking out through the neck, and rounding through the palms, stepping our legs back through a plank. Dropping the knees, tucking the toes or untucking the toes. Child's pose, bottom to heels, chest to thighs, spreading through the fingers. Back home again. So we're moving away from our home, from our safe space, from this small, secure body, making ourselves bigger, but always knowing we can come back to our home. Easing our way up again, either coming through all fours to up dog, or coming to cobra on the elbows, wherever you are today. You can take it differently on the second side if you wish this time. And then grounding through the palms. Bringing ourselves up to our plank. This time left leg goes forward between the hands. And then same as last time, creeping that back foot forward, maybe a couple of steps. And playing into this balance, bending, soft in that front left leg. And then easing ourselves forwards and backwards. Coming off of the toes on that back leg. If we can find ourselves balanced again, coming up, hips squaring to the earth. So rather than opening out through the hips, square to the earth here. Soft in that front leg. And then final move again, if you want it to this evening, you can bring the hands onto the hips for a little bit of extra strength in that left leg. I'm not there, apparently. Wherever we are, easing our way up, so lengthen the spine and hinging all the way up. Right toes are just grazing the earth. Still soft in that left knee as we bring the right leg all the way through. Hug the knee in. Oh, told you I was wobbly here. That's clearly my left strong leg. And then releasing leg all the way down to the earth, grounding through the soles of the feet. Taking a moment again to bring ourselves home. Bring ourselves back to the breath in the body. Inhaling, arms up long, either side of the ears, stretching through the fingers. Exhaling again, releasing, bending through the knees, coming through a little skiing position here. And then as we inhale, all the way up again, bending in the knees, really working in the thighs here. Exhaling again, releasing all the way down, letting the fingers float down, chest to thighs, releasing in the arms. Again, give yourselves a little shake or a nod here if you need it in the head. Give a little workout through the legs. I don't think I ever stand still in this pose actually, so feel free to join me in just moving constantly. Grounding through the palms, stepping back each leg at a time, dropping down to the knees, untucking the toes, child's pose. Releasing forehead to the earth, spreading through the fingers, lengthen the arms. Back to the breath, back to the home. Breath in the back body. Very slowly creeping the hands towards the body. So I mentioned maybe having a couple of blankets. It's completely up to you. We're going to come into relaxation, but on the way there we're going to set ourselves up because we'll do some wiggling around first. If you've got 1 or 2 blankets, I recommend putting them in a little roll. If you've got 2, perfect, because it makes it slightly more like a bolster. And then I'm going to say, lay the blankets down on the mat, just where it would sit behind your knees. So this will be a case of moving it around when you get there. And then if you've got a towel or an eye pillow, I suggested these just because they're an option whenever you come into relaxation. It's quite nice to have something to bring the eyes. So either if you've got an eye pillow, wicked, use that. If not, sometimes it's quite nice just to have a towel and just rest it over the eyes and the top of the head. It creates a little cocoon. It's quite nice in there. So if you want to make yourself a lovely little cave, feel free. Wherever we are seated, if we're getting our bits and pieces together, easing ourselves down onto our backs and then positioning our little rolls beneath where the knees are, or the backs of the knees, releasing all the way down. If you've got your knees here, you can either keep the legs out straight or about hip width apart, or you can come into a reclined Baddha-Konasana, so wide legs, so you can bring the soles of the feet closer together and then open out through the hips. Completely up to you what feels nice. I quite like a bit of hip opening, so I'm probably going to stay here. With the support of the blanket, it makes it a little bit easier than not having one. So if you haven't got the blanket, feel free to do this with the open knees, but it's probably a little bit more supportive with the legs out long. Wherever you are, releasing onto the earth, grab your little thing, towel to put over your head or your eye pillow if you wish for it. I'm going to just get mine out of the way so you can see. And then one last time, we're going to hug those knees in, come back into our home, squeezing in the knees, hands on each knee, and then working out through the hips. Maybe taking some circles or keeping the knees together, bringing them in circles or figure of 8 together, taking any movement that you need here. It's quite a lot of sort of free movement this evening, so it's about understanding what your body wants, what space you need. And when we've taken that movement, releasing down, legs both coming down, seeing if we need to reposition that bolster or blanket at all behind the knees. Releasing on our backs, bringing ourselves back to the space on the mat, the body, the home in this space. Releasing the arms down either side or on the belly. Taking time to recognize our connection with the full back body on the mat. Releasing into the earth. The breath in the body. Bringing ourselves back to our mantra, I am home. Welcoming the breath. As always, you've got the option, you can stay here for as long as time allows. I'm going to leave you at this point though, so please do feel free to sit with the mantra, I am home, and hold it in your space a little longer. Anyone who needs to finish now, I'm going to hug the knees in, roll to my side, come up to seated. Palms in prayer at heart center, bowing chin to chest. As we've remembered it all the way through our practice so far, just repeating one last time, I am home. Gently blinking open the eyes if the eyes were closed. Thank you all for practicing with me this evening. Namaste. I hope you have lovely weeks. I hope you have lovely evenings. And I will see you very soon.